If you've been working hard to overcome Candida overgrowth, you might be wondering, how do I actually know when it's gone? Today we're going to talk about the key signs that your body is healing and that the Candida is no longer in control. Hi, I'm Dr. Stephen Wangen, the founder and medical director of the IBS Treatment Center. Over the past 25 years, I've been trusted by well over 1,000 people to help them treat Candida. And thank you, by the way, to all those people. I really appreciate that. And I learned a lot from you. And one of the most common questions that I get is, how do I know when my Candida is gone? And this is a really important question, and it's not always as easy as you might think to know, or maybe you don't think that it's easy because that's why you're asking. But either way, I'll get into what you should be looking for, whether or not you should do testing, and how to know where you are in your treatment program. Now, I suspect that if you've tried to talk with your doctor about this topic, you've likely been brushed off or misunderstood, and you probably haven't gotten much clear information about how to know if Candida is really truly gone, or at least that it's back in its proper place and in balance with the rest of your microbiome. So let's jump into all of that. Now, one of the first things and most important things to pay attention to are your symptoms. The symptoms that you're experiencing that are being caused by a Candida overgrowth are the single most important indicator that you have for how well you're progressing in your treatment. And that means that you're going to know more about that process than your doctor is when it comes to knowing how well your treatment is going. And that includes me too, right? I have to listen to my patients and trust my patients to tell me how they're feeling and how things are going with their treatment. So what you need is a doctor who listens to you and believes you. And if you have that, then you can get really good feedback on how much progress you're actually making. But if you don't have that, then at least you still have your own knowledge about how you're feeling. So don't underestimate that and your instincts of how you're doing. Now, this video does not get into all of the various symptoms that can be caused by Candida. And believe me, there are a lot of symptoms that you can experience from a Candida overgrowth. But the single most important thing is to pay close attention to how much your symptoms are improving. And this is sometimes easier said than done because symptoms can vary a lot from person to person and they can come and go. And if you didn't already know, it's not at all unusual for your symptoms to get worse, much worse before they get better. Or for you might even develop some new symptoms during your treatment. So I cover all of the various symptoms that can occur, including how and what can get worse during treatment in my course that's on everything about Candida. And you can access in the link above or in the description below, you can access that course. And I promise you that it will answer all of your questions. So be sure to check it out. Now, if your symptoms are improving, then your treatment is going well. But when is the Candida gone? Now, when your symptoms are completely gone, that's a clue that your Candida is gone. So it's important to tune into your body and pay close attention to how you're feeling. But it's not a foolproof clue, which I'll explain in a moment. So if you want to see this reflected, for example, on test results, this can be really challenging because testing for Candida is notoriously problematic. And there are a lot of different tests and ways to figure out if you have Candida, but each has its own strengths and its own weaknesses. You can't count on them to tell you everything you need to know about whether or not you have Candida. They won't match. The tests don't match up. They're not always positive. When one's positive, the other one isn't always positive, and so on. So it would take far too long to get into all of that here, but I do cover that, like I was saying, in my course that's on everything Candida, and of course you can access that in the link above. Now, regardless of testing, so whether or not you do testing, probably the most important clue is to pay attention to your symptoms. And it might take weeks, it might take months, it might take even longer to treat your Candida. And regardless of what you are using or how diligent you are with the treatment, it can take time. But probably on average, it's going to take around 3 months or so. But sometimes it's a lot longer, sometimes you're lucky and it's a lot shorter. And once your symptoms are gone, that's a really good indication, but it's no guarantee that the Candida is completely gone, because then you're going to likely want to do 2 things, right? I'm going to tell you what those are. And the results of those 2 things are going to be strong indicators about whether or not the Candida is truly under control. So first, you'll probably discontinue your treatment, whatever that treatment was. That's logical because it feels like it's done. But if your symptoms come back when you do that, when you stop treatment, then you know that your Candida is not really gone. It's not really under control. You'll need to continue treatment and possibly change up the treatment or add to the treatment that you've already been doing. The second thing that many people want to do is, of course, add things back into their diet that they've been avoiding. And this is probably going to be a carbohydrate or especially a sugar that you're going to want to eat. A lot of people, of course, want to do this. And if you do this and your symptoms come back, then you'll also know that the Candida is still a big problem there. And in either case, don't beat yourself up about it, because Candida is very difficult to treat, and it's not unusual for it to not be gone as quickly as you'd like. Keep treating. You'll get there. But it might take more time. And if you need more support and would like to know more about how I treat Candida in my patients and all of the tests that are out there that you can use and what they're good for and what they're not good for, and basically everything that I've learned literally about Candida in my career, then I encourage you to check out my course, like I mentioned, which you, of course, can access here now, right in the link above or in the description below. And it's literally all in there. And I actually guarantee, I do give a guarantee on that course that you'll be impressed with everything that you learn. And I spent hundreds of hours making that course, and I can't recommend it highly enough because there's more knowledge than I can possibly convey in one video. If you did find this video helpful, though, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more insight into your health. And remember to take good care of your body. It's the only place that you have to live. Sign up for my free introduction to conquering Candida here. It's as simple as clicking this button, and I'll cover the 3 key steps to how you can, all on your own, finally get rid of your Candida for good.